Today I'm going to be finding random frames and poor things until it's ugly. Okay, let's start at the beginning. 1, 2, 3. Oh wow. This is obviously a gorgeous close-up of Emma Stone's character Bella Baxter for several reasons. First of all, the lighting on her face, there are no hard shadows. Second of all, the eye lights she has in both eyes, which is always great for a close-up. And then third of all, I will always harp on this, is the color harmony of this shot. I think one of the most important things in a shot is the color and the color harmony and contrast. As you can see, there's blue in the background, which is probably a backdrop. There's blue in her eyes, there's blue in her shirt, and there's blue in her skin tones because they are using a cool light. The only thing I see in this shot that would make it not optimized for beauty are her hair frizzles. She has a lot of hair frizzles right here, which I don't typically love, but the context of this shot kind of demands them. And if you've seen the movie, you know, and that makes it a great shot. Not ugly. Let's go to the next shot towards the end. 1, 2, 3. Again, we have a great close-up of her, and you'll see some of the same principles used in this shot as the previous one. Not ugly. Let's go towards the middle. 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, don't look, don't look. Oh crap, I knew this was gonna happen. Okay, next shot. 1, 2, 3. Whew, much better. This is one of my favorite setups in the entire film, and the thing you need to know about this shot is that all you see over here, all of this water and clouds, that is actually being shot on an LED volume, which is the same kind of LED wall that they used in The Mandalorian, and it's very impressive, I must say. But the reason they would use something like this instead of a green screen is because if you used a green screen, you would get a lot of green spill on her face and on the very reflective floorboards right here, and you would have to edit that out in post. But if you use an LED screen and you actually show the CGI water and clouds during live production, then this is going to light her, and it's going to light the floor, and it's going to light over here as well. They augmented this LED wall with other lights as well, but I think that primarily she's being lit with the LED wall, and it just makes it look more natural. It's great. Gorgeous shot. Let's go back towards the beginning. 1, 2, 3. Oh wow. I absolutely love this portrait shot of Willem Dafoe, primarily because of this circular bokeh in the background. As you can see, these little pockets of light are like kind of being bent around him, and that is because of the type of lens they used. Specifically in this film, they used a 58mm and an 85mm lomography Petzl lens and filmed at a t-stop of 2.1 and 2.3, giving it a really shallow depth of field, and it just creates this very nice looking image. Okay, next, back towards the end. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Okay, so basically we have a very similar shot to before where you can see the swirly bokeh in the background. There's not as much bokeh in this shot, so it's harder to see, but it's still there. It's still swirling. The only other thing that I noticed that's kind of different about this shot is that it looks like from the nose shadow that it's being uplit. And under further inspection, it looks like it is being uplit by this hole in the floor, which is really cool. Not ugly. Let's go back towards the beginning. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this one's interesting. I think this is a cool shot, but it might be divisive to some people. Some people might not like the circular frame that it's in, and that's because they are using an 8mm fisheye lens. And the thing to know is that this type of shot reoccurs multiple times during the film, and as far as why they used this specific lens, I couldn't really get a direct answer, but I think it has to do with the fact that it's supposed to replicate the way that Bella Baxter sees the world. It's kind of in a distorted, not as full, not as filled in kind of way, because she's a baby and she kind of has a limited perspective, let's say. Not the prettiest shot we've seen, but not ugly. Let's go towards the end. 1, 2, 3. And this is a cool shot. They're probably lighting from a window over here, a big window, and shooting an HMI, a very powerful light through it, and just lighting the side of his face right here, and then bouncing light back onto his face to give him a fill. But also, I think this is just a really cool angle and a really cool background because you have depth in the background. It goes all the way like this, and it leads your eye to his face, and that's really cool. Cool shot. Let's go towards the middle end. 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, don't look, don't look, don't look. 1, 2, 3. This was a stupid idea. I haven't, oh my gosh, I haven't even thought of like all of the scrubbing I'm gonna have to blur. How many naked frames have been in the just while I was scrubbing the timeline? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to go by frame through this entire video. Okay, this is one of the bigger, cooler sets that they used on this film, and after clicking on this frame, I went and researched how they lit this on American Cinematographer, and it's kind of wild. First of all you can see back here in the background, I believe is not the LED wall this time. I think it is actually a backdrop that they had to light, and so part of the way they lit the backdrop and all of the light you see coming from over here on her face is with 800 airy sky panel S60s, along with a lot of other HMI and Maxi Brute lights. Just imagine having to rent 800 lights. That's nuts. Filmmakers are very impressive and I love them. Definitely not ugly. Let's go towards the beginning again. 1, 2, 3. What is that? Okay, so under further inspection, this looks like the outline of a horse. I watched this shot in its full context and it's a great shot. However, I am looking for a specific frame that is ugly, and you guys got to give me that. If I'm looking for an ugly shot, I'm never going to be able to find one. I'm looking for an ugly frame. And another way to think about it is, would you want to put this shot on your wall as a movie poster? And I think the clear answer for me for this shot is no, and that's because there's just not enough contrast in this image. It's very noisy and underexposed, and I can't really tell what's going on. And I think the reason it looks like this is because this shot in its entirety is exposed for a very bright sky, but this frame in particular is in a very dark area, and when you mix those things together, you kind of get an underexposed frame. But the shot in its entirety is good. You just got to give me this. It's about finding frames, not shots. So I deem this frame ugly.